Welcome, baseball family, to the Baseball Together Thursday Night Live. My name is Brad, and as per the usual, as you would expect, I'm joined by our guy, Brig. Welcome, Brig. How are you this fine evening?
I'm pretty good, Brad. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you. Thank you for asking.
Yes,
well, let's get right into this, Brig. Let's get right into it because I think we should. There is one team in particular in Major League Baseball that I call Red Hawt.
Red Hawt.
Sox.
Yeah.
Red Hawt. That's what A-W-T. That's the sound the H-A-W-T makes. Hawt. It's
Hawt.
the Red Sox.
Yep.
The Boston Red Sox have won 16 of their last 20 games. They have come back from the dead, and they're 39-31. Going into today puts them a half a game back of the Blue Jays in the AL East and one game up on the wild card. They're still way back from the Yankees. Like, let's be clear. Right.
I prefer if you are clear about that, Brad.
Yeah, we need to be clear there because the Yankees are still head and shoulders above everybody else. They've won 50 games, and they're the cream of the crop.
Must be the shampoo they're using.
It might be.
If they're head and shoulders above everybody else.
Hey-oh. See what you did there. But I did some digging, Brig, and there was a moment in time when the Red Sox decided to wake up and start playing baseball. And in particular, it was Trevor Story who really woke up. And it was, of course, as you would imagine, when the Mariners came to town.
Yeah, I know.
Just like everybody else.
You called it.
I did.
Called it.
Yeah. Yes, and it was upsetting, but this is the difference in Trevor Story since then. So there were 32 games before that they played. He was batting, his average was 205. He was slugging 320, and his OPS was 613. He had whopping 2 home runs, 16 RBIs, and 14 walks, and he struck out 43 times. In the 27 games since then, Brig, he is batting 236, slugging 491, 802 OPS, 7 home runs, 28 RBIs. His walks are down, but I think he's swinging more. But his strikeouts are down. He's only got 39 strikeouts, which I guess is still on pace before. But this is the thing. Those first 32 games, the Red Sox were 13-19, and since then they're 19-8.
Yep.
It's a big old fatty deal because they looked like they were just going to sink to the bottom of the American League and they weren't going to have a chance at the wild card. And now what they've done, in my opinion, is they've made the wild card a whole lot more competitive.
Right.
Of
course.
Yeah.
But that's it.
Right. But because you had the Blue Jays who have played well and will continue to play well. But I feel like it's a big deal, though. It's a really big deal.
It's not a small deal.
Because somebody like me, who's a Mariners fan, like I looked at that, especially the third wild card spot, being like, yeah, they're a shoe-in, right?
Yeah.
But now it's like you've just about got to have the same record as your division winner to get in because the Yankees are so good. The AL East is still competitive. But the Mariners are going to have to be biting at the heels of the Astros that they're going to get into the wild card now.
Yep. That's true. And I guess I didn't see what you meant by this is a big deal. I'm like, but not to win the division. Like it's not a big deal. No, it makes the wild card more competitive. And you're right. Yeah.
It raises the floor. It raises the floor on the wild card is what it does.
Yeah, it does.
And I think that's a really big deal.
Well, and if they continue to win like they've been winning and they can continue to, I mean, things go up and down. Everybody knows that. But if they can hit a streak just right going into October, then you don't know. If they do the same thing they've done over the last 30 games or whatever, and they go into October that way, it is going to be a problem for everybody.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
it
really is.
That's rough. That's rough.
Yep. It's frightening, to be honest with you.
It really is. Baseball family, before we get into our next topic, don't forget that you can subscribe to The Big Show. The Big Show is where we do all of our longer form topics, where we get into more nuanced opinions on the game and what's going on. We dive deeper into news. It's published every Tuesday morning wherever you podcast. So you can get it on Apple Podcasts. I use Spotify, Podbean, or whatever it is that you want. Podcast Addict. We're everywhere. So don't forget to subscribe to that every Tuesday. It comes out.
That's right. Thank you, Brig. Okay, we have something we don't usually talk. I mean, we talk uniforms. We don't talk fashion, right, Brig? Like, I'm not much of a fashionista. I'm a hat and t-shirt guy. What I'm wearing on the podcast is what I wear every day. There's a reason for that.
There you go.
But this was something that's really interesting and baffling, to be honest with you. Off-White, it's a high fashion company. They've done a collaboration with Major League Baseball and New Era to release these interesting uniforms. Or not, they're not uniforms. It's just something for you to wear,
merch.
Right?
It's just merch,
and I don't understand it.
Me neither.
So it's a jersey, and it has a hole in it. Like
multiple
holes. They call them meteor holes.
Yeah,
and
I don't understand.
Like their signature thing. I don't get it. But the thing that's most baffling to me is the price tag on this thing.
Oh man,
these jerseys cost $1,030.
Yep.
Like, I could buy a $75 jersey down at Walmart and do the same thing to this. Granted, the circle might not be perfectly round, but I don't feel like this is perfectly round either.
Yeah.
Right?
Because it's not.
Yeah.
It's all jacked up and nasty. It's like somebody literally burned a hole, and I don't know, dude. I want to have opinions on this in some way that isn't just like ridiculous.
Look at that.
But I hate
it's so
everything
weird
about this.
And you can see on the hat too, like they're doing the same thing with the hats. They have holes in the hats. It's like they've taken a chunk out of the brim of the hat there. And then
it's like somebody took a bite out of it or something. And then there's the smaller hole further down the visor.
Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get it at all. If somebody understands this, please let me know.
Yeah,
help me see.
Because this is just the back of the jersey, but on the front of the jersey, there's a handful of holes there too. Well, and they're huge.
They are, and look at this on the hat too. And they've done this on the front as well. There's the quotations on there.
Yes,
they do that on the front too. So these on the front on the Dodgers part of the jersey, there's a quotation marks. I don't understand what that is.
Okay, so I've been thinking a lot about the quotations because the holes I think are dumb.
Right.
And it makes no sense to me stylistically. It makes no sense to me as a statement. It makes no sense to me, like
functionality.
Is there a social thing going on here I'm not aware of? Is this some kind of like I don't know. What I know about high fashion though is that it doesn't always make sense. It doesn't have to make sense. That's not the point. The point is to just be bold, right? So so let's throw that away. To me, though, the quotation marks are almost offensive if I was going to choose to be offended, right? Because if I was a Dodgers fan and I saw LA in quotes or I saw Dodgers on my jersey in quotes, I'd be like, what? Why would you put it in quotes if there wasn't an element or a mindset that lent itself to discounting the entire brand, right? There has to be some form of like, the LA Dodgers, right? Like big, fat, sarcastic, cynical air quotes is what I'm reading when I see these quotes. And to me, that's what bothers me the most. Like, okay, put a hole in a hat. Like, it's stupid. I'm never going to pay for it, whatever. This is a $260 hat with the brand that my team is like. So if I'm a player, I'm like, what? Why are you putting my stuff in quotes? If I'm a fan, and like we go back generations, and that's how we learn how to be fans. And you're gonna put the whole thing in quotes? I was angry. I don't know if I'm the only one.
It's almost like the irony of it, right? Like,
yes.
I don't know. It's so weird, and I think you're right that it is borderline offensive. If I was going to be offended, like that's what would be most offensive to me about it.
Yes.
That, like you said, you can put holes in hats, you can give it whatever worn look you want because people buy jeans with holes in them all the time. It's a look.
Sure, totally.
I get that more than I get this. But yeah, the quotes is just trying to be ironic about it, and that's like, and I don't want to say that it's sacred. I don't want to say that it's sacred, but to some degree, there is a certain level of that, right?
Well, this just feels so disrespectful.
I cannot believe that Major League Baseball, who owns New Era, let this happen. That's the thing that I'm most confused about. Is that I can see New Era as an independent company still being like, yeah, okay, we'll collaborate with a high fashion brand. That's cool. But like Major League Baseball trying to appeal to a different demographic, I don't think this is the demographic you want to try to appeal to.
No, I'm going to pull up an image of the front of the jersey. I know we beat this a little hard, but I'm going to just show everybody what this looks like right now, because
with the Dodgers and the quotes.
Yeah, it holds. This is now you can see the quotes around the hat, the quotes around the name on the jersey. And to me, it just, so stylistically, it's unnecessary, right? Completely unnecessary. And if it's frivolous, if you're putting it on there frivolously with frivolity, how about that? Then you don't need it in the first place, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if it's unnecessary, then cut it out, design style, right? But then if there is a purpose, what is the purpose? And if it's not offense, if it's not ironic, if it's not sarcastic or cynical, then somebody come to me and tell me what it is.
Yeah. Well, and the thing is, so the other thing that's interesting too is that this is not it's not an official jersey. Like it's not the on-field style jersey. It's not the on-field style hat. So I wonder if that was
like a concession or something,
some kind of concession or some kind of condition that they had to make. Like, okay, you can do this to the brand, but you cannot do it to the on-field brand. You have to do it to the fashion brand. But it is so bizarre. I don't understand it. I don't think I ever will understand it. But if you do understand it, please jump in the mailbag on baseballtogether.com or in the link down in the description and let me know, because I need some help. Send it our way and we will definitely address it on the big show. Okay, Brig, tell us about Neil Diamond.
Hand. Neil Diamond jumped into the stardom, limelight, whatever. He jumped into everybody's public awareness again, because this is the first time he's been seen publicly in quite a while. He's coming out with a new, I guess there's a new musical that he's written and has been a part of called A Beautiful Noise. Him and the cast, they all came to the Red Sox game a couple nights ago or whatever. And in the 8th inning and Fenway, they sing Sweet Caroline. Mm-hmm. So Neil Diamond gets out there on the mezzanine level, I think he was out in right field, gets out on the mezzanine level, and he's got a microphone in his hand with the cast of his new musical, and they sing Sweet Caroline with the fans at Fenway. To me, magic. This is magic for a bunch of reasons.
Okay, go ahead.
He was diagnosed with Parkinson's in 2018, so the guy is still out there killing it. He's not letting his disability take over his life. He's still creating. He's still making music. He's still making memories with people and for other people and giving people the experience of his art. I've been a Neil Diamond fan my whole life. I've gotten a lot of crap for that my whole life as well. So come at me, Brad.
I don't think I have to say a word about how I feel about Neil Diamond, and I think Neil Diamond, I think you know.
Yeah, you're right. So I started wondering, I was like, is it like, how big a deal is this? The first time he's been at Fenway, and it's not. It wasn't the first time.
Right.
The first time was in 2010, and then he came back again in 2013 and led Sweet Caroline after the after the bombing, the Boston Marathon bombing.
Mm-hmm.
So, but they've each been punctuated by some sort of event. Now, that got me thinking, like, well, how long have they been doing Sweet Caroline in Fenway in Boston, right? And it turns out that the song has been a staple in the organization for the fans. Do you want to take a guess, Brad? How long before you knew? What would you have said?
Well, so it's since 1997, but I would have guessed it's a lot longer than that, just because of the way that it feels, right?
Yeah, it
Like
feels like a
it
total
feels like it's been
institution.
around. Yeah, that like the song came out and they just started doing it. But no,
They're
1997
like,
is interesting.
that's ours. Now, the other thing that's interesting is that in England, in the UK, this song is even bigger deal than
Oh, is
I
it?
probably has ever been in the United States. Honestly, they use it for football matches all the time, and it is a whole thing. And now it has come into boxing, heavy into boxing.
Interesting.
So yeah, it's like when they in boxing, when they do the undercard is done and they're getting ready for the main event, especially if they have a British fighter and they're in the UK, they sing Sweet Caroline, the whole crowd, and it's nuts.
That's interesting. I had no idea. Didn't know that.
Cool, right?
Yeah, that is cool.
Yeah, I thought so.
Well, awesome. All right, let's get into this weekend's games. Okay, we have some coming up. Friday night, we have Apple TV. Of course, as you would expect, we have the Cubs at the Cardinals at 8 p.m. Eastern time. And we also have the Tigers and the Diamondbacks at 9:30 p.m. Eastern time. First, let's talk about the Cubs and Cards.
Okay.
This, to me, always feels like a big game. Big NL Central rivalry game, right? We're always talking to Denise about how much she hates the Cardinals simply because they play in the same division as the Cubs. However, there is a huge disparity between these two teams right now.
Huge.
Huge. The Cardinals are first in the NL Central. The Cubs are fourth, and they're 13 games back. And to be honest with you, Brig, it feels like they're way more than 13 games back right now.
Yeah. Well, it does. It feels like 45 games.
It might as well
played 68 games or whatever. So,
yeah. Yeah, but I still think it'll be fun. It's one of those games. I think it's one of those series where anything can happen. The Cubs are motivated against the Cardinals. They could come back and they could come out and win 2 out of 3 this weekend, and they might come out in prime time, or they could lose 20-0. I don't know. We'll see what happens. I'm gonna tune in and watch because I'm intrigued.
Absolutely, every time.
The other game on Apple TV, like I said, the Tigers at the Diamondbacks. Neither of these teams are very good. I'm quite honest. I'm not sure why it's on national television, other than the fact that it was already scheduled.
It's got to be it.
It's got to be. And I'm surprised they can't flex them out.
I'm taking the D-backs in this one, though.
I am too. Yeah. They're just like a touch better, and I don't even know if it's a touch better. They play better, right?
They do,
because they play those NL West teams tough.
Yeah,
and I take the Diamondbacks in this, but I was pretty excited though, because it means I actually get to watch the Diamondbacks without being at the stadium. So,
are you going to be blacked out though?
I shouldn't be. I don't think so, because it's not going to be on local cable, and local cable is usually the reason that I'm blacked out. So I think I'll be fine. I think
that's good.
This one.
I hope you're right.
So let's talk about Saturday's games. So FS1, Fox Sports 1, they are still televising baseball. They are. The Nats at the Rangers. This is 4 p.m. Eastern time. Now, the Rangers have surprised me because they're still not very good, right? They're under 500. But the thing that surprised me about them is that they've been steady. They've been a steady under 500, like slightly under 500 team. To the point,
but
only just 33 and 35 going into today. But to the point that they've surpassed the Angels during their massive losing streak. They've surpassed the Mariners when they have not been playing very well. That they're in second place in the AL West right now. They're not necessarily in the wild card hunt.
No,
but they're hanging tough despite their flaws.
Still a thorn.
Yeah, that's exactly what they are.
I like that about them this season.
But this is another bad game because the Nats are terrible. The Nats are absolutely terrible. They don't have the worst record in baseball, but they do have the most losses. They have more wins than some teams, but they do have the most losses. They're 25 and 47. So if you're busy on Saturday, don't break your plans to watch the Nats and the Rangers. That's my bit of advice there.
Bingo. 7 p.m. on Fox on Saturday. Of course, it's a check your local listing situation here because you can either watch the Dodgers and the Braves or Rockies and Twins. Dodgers basically just need to stay ahead of the Padres, and I think this is going to be a tough one for them in Atlanta.
The Braves are playing so well right now.
They're killing it right now, and they're chasing the Mets pretty competitively. I'm surprised and a little disconcerted, but this will be another interesting wild card situation. Is that the NL East situation there?
Yep,
anyway,
exactly.
That's the one I would watch versus the Rockies and the Twins. The Rockies are bad. They're 30 out of 30 and 39 rather, and they give up runs like it's Halloween and they have a bucket of candy. So they're the only team to give up more runs than the Rockies or the Nationals. We got to start calling them Walgreens again when they're bad.
We do need to start calling them Walgreens again.
It's that bad.
I think you're right.
The Twins are only a game behind Cleveland's baseball team, but there's really not much of a race going on. And the AL Central is not as interesting as it could have been, and we thought it would be. So if you're going to choose between one of those and the cable listings and local listings don't choose for you, Braves at Dodgers, or Dodgers at Braves is the one I'd watch.
Definitely. That's the one.
No question about it.
Yep, for sure. And then Sunday we have Wake Up in Baseball on Peacock. Game is a little bit later than what we've had and what we've been used to. The Mets at the Marlins. This game starts at noon Eastern instead of 11:30. So you have a little bit extra time to get your brunch in if that's what you're going to do before this game starts.
Yeah.
Now, I have been watching the Marlins a lot, Brig, because they're not great. I'll be honest with you, but they're pests. Talk about a thorn. The Marlins are
thorn.
Pests. Holy cow!
Yes,
they have been all season long for everybody. Now the Mets are still like you said, they're not going to Met the bed this year. They're the 2022 Mets. These are not last year's, the year before's Mets.
Yeah.
However, they only lead the Braves by 4.5 games going into today, and if the Marlins come in and take 2 out of 3 from the Mets, that could be a big problem for the Mets. They've kind of lost that big lead that they had because the Braves went on that big winning streak. And if it disappears, they could end up being a wild card instead of winning the division.
They got hit by the injury bug.
They did. But everybody gets hit by the injury
I know, and I'm so glad it's early for them. This is a great time to get hit by the injury bug, honestly.
It's true.
Bit by it.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on. FS1 Sunday, Mariners at Angels. They're going to Anaheim, 4 p.m. Eastern. Angels took 4 out of 5 from the Mariners last weekend, Brad. I'm really sorry about that.
A 5-game series, Brig.
Yeah, that's a long.
And the Mariners only got 1.
Ridiculous. Yeah, that's bad. That's bad news, Bears. And didn't you say Ty France left tonight's game?
Yeah, so
with an injury?
Ty France left today's game with an injury. It's an elbow injury. So far, things are not too bad. They're thinking he thinks he's going to be able to avoid the IL from what he said after the game, but it's a wait to see thing because he's going to get an MRI tomorrow. So we'll find out what exactly is going on there.
Yep.
But the Mariners, so the reason they lost to the Angels the way that they did was because they forgot how to hit the baseball. Well, they remembered how to do it. Nothing like a trip to Oakland to remember how to hit the baseball, except for today because they almost got no hit. Still won.
Yeah, bro.
But still. Scored it was 17 runs in the first 2 games. So I'll take that.
Yeah.
I'll run with it to Anaheim, and hopefully the Mariners can play well down there this weekend. I got to take 2 out of 3. Right?
You have to.
You
just have to.
Yep.
The Dodgers are going to be in Atlanta again, and they're going to televise it again. It'll be on ESPN at 7 p.m. on Sunday, and don't miss that one. Again, same thing. Watch the Mets, watch the Braves, watch the Dodgers. That's your National League. And the Brew Crew, obviously. Watch them too.
Yeah. So your other series to watch this weekend, we got the Phillies at the Padres. This is going to be a big one. The Phillies were really hot there for a little while. They've cooled off, but they still need to heat back up. They need to show that they can contend to get back in that race, right? Back with the Mets and the Braves, because if not, they're going to get buried and the other 2 teams are going to run off with them. They're going to struggle to make the wild card again. I think this would be a big series for them to make a statement, say that they're here to stay, that they can compete. They are a good team. The Padres, on the other hand, are right in it with the Dodgers. They're tied for first in the NL West, and I am pumped, Brig. I've gotten to be a bigger Padres fan than a Diamondbacks fan since I moved.
Yeah. Well, they're
It's
so
strange.
fun to watch, dude.
They are fun to watch. And I've always been a big Manny Machado fan, which like, yeah, okay, come at me. I don't care. But still, like, I love watching him play for the Padres. I can't wait till Tatis gets back. That's going to be a lot of fun.
And I got to be honest, I watched Luke Voit MASH. Is so fun. So I don't care what uniform he's wearing. It happens to be brown, and that makes me happy because I love the color brown. When they switch back to brown, they got those
the UPS
gray
uniforms.
Yeah, the tan with the pinstripes. It's so good. It's so retro, and that's my thing. I just love it so much. So I agree with you. This, like, last year was fun to watch Padres. This year is way more interesting. It's not as volatile. They're not as violently winning, but they're not losing as much either as they
they're
did
more
last
steady.
season.
They're more steady.
They're more steady, and they're playing small ball, and it's awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So
it is.
Yeah, I love it. Maybe if they go to the World Series, we should buy Franciscan monks robes
and go to a game.
Yeah, we'll get because remember we met the Franciscan monks at the ball game a couple of years ago.
Yes, we should. We should do that.
Get approached about. Never mind. We're not there to evangelize.
Anyway, all right. So we talked about the Red Sox, how hot they are right now. The two hottest teams in baseball, one of them being the Red Sox, the other one being the Cleveland Guardians, are meeting this weekend. This might be the series of the weekend, Brig. Very well, I think so. Yeah, because I said that the Red Sox have won, what was it, 16 of the last 20, right? Is that what I had on there?
That.
Yeah. Well, the Guardians have won 17 of the last 21.
Yeah.
So they are equally as hot. Yes. They're coming into this
hot.
Game. Hot. They are hot right now. It's crazy. The Red Sox have a better record than the Guardians do right now because they've been hot longer. But at the same time, the Guardians, since they're in the AL Central, are in first place. So this could end up, I feel like it could end up being a matchup we see in the postseason this year. These two teams meeting. This could be a good little preview. I'm curious if the Guardians can sustain this, if this is who they are. Nope. You don't think so? You don't think so?
No.
I think as long as they keep playing AL Central teams, they're going to win it. Yeah. Honestly.
Yes.
Like they have such a heavy AL Central schedule for obvious reasons, right? I mean, that's stupid to say, I feel like. But
no, I got you.
Because of the division they're in, they're going to win it, and they're going to eventually end up running away with it.
Right, but
that's how I feel about it.
Yes. But when you ask, are they as good as we think they are? No. Compared to the rest of the American League.
So this is how good I think the Cleveland Guardians are. Okay. I think they are good enough if there were no divisions and it was just the American League, if it was 15 American League teams top to bottom, I think they're good enough to make the wild card. If you just took the top 6 teams in the American League?
Yeah.
That they would be one of the top 6 teams.
I could put them at number 6.
Mm-hmm. I could see that.
But I wouldn't
because I don't see the number 2 team in the American League Central making the wild card.
No. Me neither.
I don't think the Twins will make the wild card.
Mm-mm. I mean, they have time to go on a tear and rip it to shreds, but they're not going to.
Honestly.
Yeah, I think they have. I mean, they got huge problems defensively. It's not good.
No, it's not. It really isn't. Like we were looking at the Twins earlier this year, I remember, and being like, man, maybe Carlos Correa saw something that we didn't. No, it was a money situation.
That's it. So. Yeah, it's a no. I say no, thank you.
No, thank you. Okay, very good. So those are the series we have for you this weekend, the games to watch. Tune in and watch some baseball this weekend. Have lots of fun doing so. Baseball family, don't forget that you can always jump into the mailbag to let us know what you think about what we're doing, or send us some questions if you have any burning questions that you want to ask us, or any suggestions for who you think we should try to get on the show. We're working on booking a guest right now. Very big guest, and we're very excited about it. That's all we can say for now. But
facts of life.
If there's anybody else you'd like to see, let us know, and we'll do the very best we can to get them. Because we
hope you enjoyed the David Sampson interview. That to us was like such a big deal. He illuminated so many things. He changed some paradigms for us, and I haven't been the same since. So if you're If you haven't caught the episode from this week, you got to go back and listen to it because it is great.
Yes, it was an outstanding interview. It was a lot of fun. I really liked it a lot. But baseball family, also don't forget to hop by the shop, get yourself something nice, get yourself a hat, shirt, stickers. We have water bottle stickers, and they're fantastic. I got to order myself some because I got a new water bottle. But baseball family, also let us know what you think. Like, subscribe, rate, review, and we will catch you next week.